In this video, we'll be doing the harmonic dictations 5-4 and 5-6. And in addition to checking your work, again, you want to pay attention to how I'm doing these dictations to help grow and develop your approach to doing this kind of work. So to begin with, there's a few sort of artificial rules that apply for these dictations that don't always apply everywhere, but we're sort of learning step by step. The first thing is that we're in the key of A minor for all of these dictations for this chapter, and they can only use the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. And it's really good to know that so only those, right? And they can only be in root position. Okay, so that means that our notes are going to be A, D, and E. That's it. Can't have any other notes in your bass. Okay, could be in different octaves, but you know they're probably going to stay in this range right here. Could go low, could go high, depending on the A especially, because basses can sing here and basses can sing here, but they start to get, they can't sing below. They're not going to sing high. The D is probably going to be right here, right? Could be down here. It's never going to be up there. Be really, really dark sound if it was that way. The E is probably also going to be here, although you might hear a low approach up, right? Okay. And there are mostly chord tones in the melody. There's the occasional, I think, non-chord tone. I think maybe a number 6, but I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. Meaning we can only use, for the most part, A, C, E, and D, F, A, and E. Don't forget G sharp, because it's harmonic minor making us do that. Okay. Hopefully you've listened to this and done your dictations, and now you're comparing and checking, right? So we can listen to it a couple times for me to get started, but you've done this a lot, so we'll dig into it. It's going up, and it's doing it again, and then it goes. So this is very interesting. Da dun da dun, feels like steps, and then it feels like it's doing it again. Da dun 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 da. Da, and you expect it to go to do, but it doesn't. It goes da da at the end. All right. So before we talk about placing everything, let's just get our rhythms here. We're in dun 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 dun. You might be like, how do you know that? Well, bum bum gesture, right? Means that the next one is sounding the same. Bum bum will be a beat 4. So there's my quarter note right there. Bum bum, and this is 1 beat, 2 beats. So this has got to be 3 and 4. I'm going backwards, but 2 beats here. Bum 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 bum. I can hear the gesture of the pickup. I don't have to count that perfectly, and except for a computer, nobody's performance of that is going to be perfect either. You're going to hear the intended gesture though, which is pick up, downbeat. Pick up, downbeat, right? Pick up, da, 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 and those two are equal, okay? All right, so it's pretty obvious. This goes T, do, and it seems to be going up a scale. And, I talk about not doing things linearly, but this is sort of low-hanging, easy fruit. We can hear that it's stepping up like that. Da da, and I can hear that this is a repeat. Da 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 da. Last note's gonna be D something, right? So I'll take this guy and put it right there for my pickup. Don't forget my G sharp. Ba da da da. It feels like a step. I'll check that later. That's maybe the note we're going to get wrong, but we can compare. We can hear that this is a contraction of this, and this is a scale, right? Bum, 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 bum. check that note. Bum, bum. Now here's where I'm playing the imagination game, which is I really want the music to go bum, and finish. And that's do, right? Bum, 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 bum. But it doesn't. It goes bum, bum in a different direction. The point is that we want it to go to do. So it's actually going not to do, but to may, because it goes up. And if you know that it's going, the point is that we can go back and say, well, this has got to be re approaching there. Right? But it doesn't instead. And we can just check this. Ti, do, re, mi. Me, re, it does feel like a step up. Feels like a third down. All right. Now, that's the easiest part to get here. It's not that difficult a melody. And we can triangulate on a bunch of things. Like this is an A. So this is, and this is a 5 chord right here because it's got T and so, right? So we can mark that as 5. This is going to be a 1 right there. I know this because 5 doesn't go to 4 except in folk music and rock and roll. And then re, me is another 5, 1. Because B is only in the 5 chord right there, right? And then may is only in the 1 chord. And then it's going to be the same thing again. 5, 1, 5, 1. This is fa. It's got to be a 4. Re is 5 and may is 1. So in this case, it's really easy to tell our chords from, what notes they have to be harmonized with. I hope you started to get the hang of that or see that when you were doing your identifications in chapter 5 that we had you practice again and again, right? So then we just listen for direction. I'm going to bet that this comes down and then it does this. And if it comes down again, we'll hear. But if it goes up to here, the color will get kind of light and fuzzy, right? Let's listen again. Goes down. Feels the same to me. So do, right? And it still feels down again. It doesn't feel like it went way down and came back up. If you lose track of your note in there, it's because it's gone up into the area of the tenors and the other notes and things, right? So do. And it's probably going to go and do the same thing a couple times here. It's possible you can't hear this very well, but we basically know that these are going to be E's. That's going to be an A. And you say, well, what could have gone down the octave? Yes, it maybe could, but then you're going to hear it stick out from the texture and be really, really dark, right? And it just didn't do that, right? So I guess the thing we'll check here again once more is, did it go up here, or can we hear it go so, do? If you had problems hearing these things, sometimes penciling this in and singing it a bunch of times will cement it in your ears, and then you'll be able, instead of going like so, do, so, do, so, do, so, do, so, do, fa, so, do. If you sing that, then you'll start to hear that in the music. Not because you're making something that's not there, but you're patterning your hearing to be aware of that. It goes down again, like that. Okay? So I recognize the bass line's kind of hard to hear. It's in a medium sort of range, so it gets stuck in the texture, but you can hear it over time, and you get better at hearing it with practice. eventually I sketched it out and then I confirmed that it sounds like that. And if for some reason your octave was wrong, that's a very, very small mistake by comparison.